They were filling not just a seat, but an office, a ministry, an apostleship. And then it says, and they cast lots for them, and the lot fell on Matthias, and he was numbered with the 11 apostles. That was in Acts 1:26. This wasn't a democratic popularity vote or an honorary title. This was a succession of apostolic office. The Greek word used for office in verse 20 is episkope, the root of the English word bishop. It implies oversight, governance, and pastoral authority. That office didn't end with Judas. It was passed on by the will of God and the discernment of the church through visible means. This is apostolic succession in action, right at the beginning of the church. The early Christians understood that apostolic roles weren't one-time gigs. They were offices meant to endure and be filled as the church grew. Now let's tie that back to what Jesus said to Peter in Matthew 16:19. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Now some might argue, well, that's just spiritual authority. It doesn't necessarily imply an ongoing chain of successors. But here's the key. Authority implies continuity. Jesus didn't say, I give you temporary access to the keys. He said, I give you the keys. And keys, once given, become part of an office. Just like Eliakim in Isaiah 22 held the keys to the house of David as a steward until the master of the house returns. Not as a one-time event, but as part of an ongoing office that would continue after him. Likewise, binding and loosing wasn't a one-time Peter-only function. It was a real governing authority to make decisions, discipline, and define doctrine within the church. And because the church was meant to endure until the end of the age, as Matthew 28:20 says, the authority Jesus gave wasn't just for a moment. It was meant to be handed on. The keys weren't buried with Peter. They were entrusted to successors. And the same authority to bind and loose continues through apostolic succession, ensuring that the church speaks not on the basis of personality, but on the authority of Christ passed down faithfully. Succession is not a Catholic convention. It's a New Testament reality.